Welcome back to comics, to Hot Comics TV. Let's talk about Frank Miller, Sin City. Okay, so Frank Miller, for me, I know that a lot of people, I'm gonna say something sacrilegious. Frank Miller did innovative stuff before my time, before I was aware of the psyche and the subversive nature that this man brings into comics, because I don't think Frank Miller likes superheroes. He likes to give you narrative of maybe anti-heroes. Let me adjust the camera, sorry. This book's a little bit smaller. And also, he does not like to do stories of the superhero events because he's bringing you something more grown up to the table, and that's why I think it's the why everybody reveres his work. And I don't have anything against what the current narrative is against his work, that they go that he's sexist, that he's a misogynist, that he's this, that he's that, that he's a racist, that he's exploiting characters of different demographics and all that garbage that they're bringing into the table. And I see it for what he's doing. He's bringing the type of detective noir, the hyper violence, the characters that of the underworld, of what do you call it, of alternative, what do you call it, culture, all that sort of thing. To begin with, we got Marvin, who is like the true anti-hero, like a character that is there to, what do you call a murder without any judgment, but he's doing the right thing. And then you come across with the other characters. But the thing that is most subversive for me is the artwork, is the art style, because it's kind of like pushing the envelope on what you can get away with. I know that everybody reveres his Daredevil, the Wolverine works, and all of that other material that he did for Marvel. And I know that he probably had these limitations, and he was just like, I want to get out of that sort of notion. And you see him hanging out with the Hernandez brothers because they're doing a total different type of narrative. They're not doing your superhero spandex sort of thing. So I see these, and it's obviously revolutionary for doing art style of this nature. And that's what I see out of it, that like what you can push, how can you push this to the maximum and get away with it? I guess this is my favorite period of his work. The one for 300, I don't know. I'm not going to talk bad about it because I just don't want to do that. But when I see this material here, I see like a beautiful concept idea of work, and I see that he's still laboring with more detail than he does in his later years. I know that artists, when they get a lot older, they do more spare work. It evolves into something that it's a little bit more conceptual, but I think it's a little too much. But again, this is my favorite period because Ronin was something that I found to be a little bit of a convoluted mess, skill wise, because he's trying to import the European sensibility into his style, and that's what you see here. Now that I'm looking at it with fresh set of eyes, instead of looking at it the way that I saw it for the first time, this is quite beautiful, this work. The narrative of his work is what sells his story, because he's doing the lifting with the narrative that you see on the panels. It works almost like manga. You want to have a page turner and not get bogged down by large chunks of text, which is the thing that kind of affects a lot of the Western comics. That's why manga has become such a success in the market on sales anyway. I mean, I'm looking at it here, and it's operating like manga. It's one from one panel to the next, and the narrative is being lifted by, I mean, being carried by the panel, by the artwork that you see at hand, and it's all really well labored in here. I mean, when you see these glass cracking, you can also sort of feel like, yeah, he's cracking glass there. Marvin. What a specimen of a character. Just the mentality alone of the whole thing. And how Robert Rodriguez was able to capture the attention of Frank Miller, because I don't think Frank Miller would be an easy person to convince, because he would be set on his ways, and also he was, what, on his 50s when Robert Rodriguez came in and told him, look, you'll co-direct the movie, I'll set up the technology, and we'll shoot this with a stellar cast. Seeing that, like, because if you see the movie, this is panel by panel literally what they did literally on that film. The way that he's doing this sequence of work, it's so clever. Getting away with that style is just outstanding. When I see Marvin, I think of Kirk Douglas. No, not Kirk Douglas. His dad. Yeah, Kirk Douglas Sr. I'm sorry if I'm not quite correct on the actor. That's what it reminds me of this really butch actor from Hollywood. Beautiful. It's almost like you could do posters out of every single panel. It's all transgressive literature as well, if you think about it, because it's in the underworld of everything's kind of culture. Yeah, that's the clever part. Again. Also, being able to stylize this narrative is just outstanding. I guess all the silhouettes and all of the artwork, it's implied. The shape and the volume of everything's implied, but that's the clever part. For him to come up with this style it's the revelation, and that's why everybody sort of gives him praise. Again, I'm not throwing shade at the later works, but not my cup of tea. Again, I gotta say another thing. It's probably ahead of his time. This work, because when I see it, it's so modern. I mean, I don't see this as being held back by time. If anything, this is as modern as the modern work that's coming out now. If anything, way ahead of its time. The silhouettes of the work. I think I bought this book back in the early 2000s. Maybe just after the film, because I never really, I don't really have a hefty collection by Frank Miller. I got Ronin and I got The Dark Knight on trade paperback. I never really gone the whole hog to get like the deluxe editions or anything like that. This work does deserve to have to be viewed in a larger scale, though. Quite a portfolio of work that Frank Miller has built over the years, and also the subversive nature, not creating anti-heroes. And this is something extremely that I enjoyed out of the work, is that he's doing these, obviously these girls, you know what they do for a living. Obviously this is all taboo topics in general, but he's dressing them as what do you call it, superhero characters. I find that funny. This is outstanding, this panel. It's all action packed. There's not a moment. It just keeps on going, this story. You just cannot put it down either. It's a page turner, true and true. And you get your resolution out of it. Look at this panel. Oh my god. So cool. For anybody that's coming new to comics, if you want to read something other than superheroes and stay away from the Sausage Factory, and also read an American comic that is done by someone that deserves the attention, by a comic book creator, it's pick up Sin City. It's quite the thing. You can watch the movie, but it's not the same. I mean, I can only imagine when this came out. This would have been quite the revelation for a lot of comic book readers and collectors. I mean, I was way too young when this came out, so I would have never been close to this. Anyway, I don't. Maybe I shouldn't be spoiling it. Oh, we got art. Okay, cool. I think that the deluxe editions have what do you call it? Like more content, more material on it, and this is what do you call it? I can't remember. When was this come out? When did this come out? Let's take a look. Okay, so the original works did come out on 91, so okay. I was still reading, what do you call it? What do you call it? X-Men, Ghost Rider, and all that sort of stuff, and Spawn. So maybe this is from 2001. I think this is from that. Yeah, 2001. Could be. Anyway, that's in CD by Frank Miller. If you haven't read it, do it. And I'm pretty sure this is pretty easy and unavailable, and also pretty affordable. I don't think they're like it's like out there, you know. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Please like and subscribe and all those good things. Until next time, thank you so much for your time. Bye bye.